G'day people, this is the Great Southern Ancient Miniature Man. This is part 3 of my review of the Eskice Ancient Miniatures, 3D printed in France, sent to me. This is a Carthaginian Cavalry man. If you've seen my previous videos on these figures, you'll know that they are all printed as a single unit, so the horse and the rider are connected, and does lead to some little challenges getting your brush into little nooks and crannies and so on, but in the end it wasn't too difficult with this guy. I do like him and his horse. They're quite stationary and interesting. Some of the other horses, as I mentioned previously, I think were not quite as good, particularly the ones that are very animated, although the two commanders, this Numidian, who I did show before, and the Carthaginian commander horse that are both rearing up, they're really cool as well. I'm very impressed with those two. Let me get those off, and I just want to show you that Carthaginian commander I spoke of. He's an awesome figure. He's got these sort of tassels on the bridle there. The shield was a bit damaged, and I did mention the other video. Aaron from Eskice said that this was a test print and the new ones that don't have that issue, but that's all right. I just incorporated that as a kind of battle damage feature, so I think it's come up very nicely. I'm pretty happy with this guy. They do have very long tails, look a little bit unrealistic, and just to get a comparison, that is a Warlord War Games Atlantic horse. So what I did, I just wanted to see how one of them looked on a different sort of horse. So they are a single piece with the horse and the rider, so it was quite difficult to extract him from his previous horse. Took a lot of drilling and filing and a bit of work with wire cutters to extract him, surgically remove him from his horse. But I do think it would be better if they did make them separate, because then it's you could use them on other horses, and I do, certainly for the active horses, the more dynamic ones, I think these ones are better than the Eskice ones. But anyway, it's come up well, and I like him. I just put up the other one and just see, interested in people's opinions as to which one horse they think's better. So these horses that I have done are the pick of the horses that I've got. These are the best ones. Those ones that are lunging forwards look a little different. So I've done a fairly consistent colour scheme for these guys. Yellow and the blue and the white sort of being their primary colours. A little bit of red on the saddles. And I think they look quite good. I'm happy. I've done the shield all a bit battle damage with some scratches painted on and a bit of dirt and blood smears. Yeah, they're cool cavalry. Glad I've got them. But up next is the pick of this Eskice collection for me in the ancient so far. That is the Numidian elephant. So let's get him up and have a look at him. So they did also send me 3 3D printed palm trees, which you see here before you. So it's a relatively static figure, and obviously the dynamism's just in the guys on the back, but I think it's great. Initially I wasn't sure about how textured it was and whether it would come up well, but in the end it is quite well textured. It's a little bit more subtle than, say, the V&V elephant that I showed a while back as well, but I think it's come up beautifully. I love it. It's a fabulous elephant. Interesting that the anatomy is so excellent on this one versus those dynamic horses where it's not. They've really nailed the anatomy perfectly of the elephant. I'm not sure what happened with the dynamic horses. Anyhow, quite nice faces. All 3 faces are different and really pretty easy to paint. I considered doing a lot more patterning and intricate details on the cloth on the back of the elephant, but then I quite like just the simple yellow. Contrasts nicely, I think, with the grey skin and the dark skin of the guys and the red of the guy on the back. So I'm pretty happy with it just being that simple yellow. The base I used some modelling putty, and then I used this cracking paint, so thin layer of that. It's sort of also a putty thing that, you know, just dries and contracts, and so leaves that pretty cool cracking effect. Next I go to wash with a dark sepia sort of wash from Vallejo, and then it was dry brushed a sort of light brown, and then a yellowy brown, and then a white, creamy white over the top of that, and I think it's come up really well. I like the look of it. A bit of a dry sort of salt pan, and then a little bit of an oasis with the palm trees. Palm trees I did pretty simply. I spray painted them, covered the trunks with Glad wrap, plastic wrap, and then spray painted the leaves green, painted the coconuts that sort of yellowy colour, and then obviously just painted the trunks a little bit of a grey with a speckling of white just to add a bit of interest. But yeah, I love this elephant. I think it's superb. I've got lots of great elephants, but this is right up there with them, particularly with the scene, I think, as it's sort of pushing through a bit of an oasis. It looks very more characterful, I would say. The spear I've changed. They did have a 3D printed one, but it was a bit floppy and wasn't great, so I've just changed it for just one of those broomstick spears. They're so versatile, and they always stay straight, and they're sharp, but they don't give you tetanus every time you touch them. So I think they're fantastic for a lot of these things. In fact, this guy's spear is the same. He's got a... Is it? Can't remember whether that's... No, maybe that's the original one, but one of them I did change for a... No, that's the original one too. Okay, somewhere recently I changed a Cavalry one to a broomstick spear. Yeah, it is this one, I'm pretty sure. Anyhow, good. There you go, Eskice miniatures. So the Velites were cool. These guys are... This is superb. Some of the horses are great. They've also got Carthaginian infantry and Numidian infantry. I would be quite interested in getting hold of them at some point and giving a look at them too. Anyway, I do hope you like it. There were those discount codes on the previous video. Maybe it was the first video. Anyway, have a look back if you want to pick up some at a good price. See ya.